Welcome to How's Your E-Presence on Business RadioX. This show is produced by E-Presence, and I am Mark Galvin, the founder and president of that firm. We are coming to you live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. Welcome to the show where we talk about business and social media. Thanks for joining us. This show is brought to you by the social media management firm E-Presence, and this is a firm that manages social media for both companies and individuals. And I'm going to tell you what, here in 2021, if you're an organization that needs to connect with your customers, the best place to do it is on social. And something important, we're looking at getting out of the coronavirus. Everybody's going to want to start hitting the road. They're going to want to start doing business. They're pent up energy, pent up demand, pent up revenue. And I'm looking at our guest here. I'm talking to him. So you're just going to have to wait up, but we're talking, right? Pent up demand that we need to be ready for. So if you're interested in social media, it's a great place to reach those clients. Well, those clients that are looking to do business. So hopefully you're on social media. We can help you with that here in 2021. Now, before we get into the company social media, we are still helping people find jobs. So if you know anyone that's out of work or furloughed, you know someone that is looking to do more work on social media to reach their target audience, because 87% of LinkedIn messages are returned when a profile is robust. So you got to have a good, robust profile on LinkedIn. You can join us. We do webinars every month. We do 2 of them, and they're only $37.50 a person. So that's half price because we dropped it during the coronavirus crisis. You can join us. Go to e-pr.me/discount. That's e-pr.me/discount. And it's the bottom of the screen here. You can join us and really get a discount because you are listening to this show. So twice a month, come and join us, and we'd love to help you out. We get no more than 10 people in those classes, and so all of our participants will get an opportunity to get a wonderful brand new profile in an hour. So join us there. Well, let's get on to the show. Today we have a great guest. Our guest is Andrew Wright with AVO Health. Andrew, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm glad you are here. Well, let me tell you. So Andrew is, he runs a company here in Atlanta, and AVO Health sounds like it's a health center. What is AVO Health?
So AVO Health is as you said, a health center that focuses on chiropractic, specifically a technique called network spinal, which we'll get into how that's different than regular chiropractic.
Good.
And we pair it with yoga, which has tremendous health benefits and has been used for thousands of years as a practice to increase your energy, really.
I love that. Well, you have a long history. Before we get into AVO Health, you had got a Master E program. What does that mean? I've never seen that before.
So as I mentioned, I practiced something called network spinal, and it was developed by a man named Dr. Donald Epstein.
Okay.
Back in the 70s, and it has continued to evolve ever since then. And the latest iteration of it, which is called network spinal, the top practitioners in the world are in the Master E program. And There's only about 30 or so of us that are in that program. And it's only been offered for about 5 years, and I've done it 3 out of those 5 years.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So you were, not only did you do that, you were in Asheville for a while, and then you came to Atlanta, and you went to Life University. Now, being an Atlantan, I know a lot about Life University, but for those folks that don't know about it, what is Life?
So Life University is, there are about 16 chiropractic schools around the country, to my knowledge. There might be more now. But Life University really focuses on vitalistic health. Which we'll get into again more when we talk about philosophy.
So say what vitalistic health is.
Sure.
Though.
Vitalistic health is the belief that your body, the understanding that your body and your system are self-developing, self-healing, and self-organizing. And basically all of the power that heals you comes from your own system. So
our own system does have the ability to ward off diseases. But
Absolutely.
But you have to give it the energy to do that in I'm going to call it direction. There's probably another word for that, right?
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I love that. So let's see. I want to push through this really fast. So you have a bachelor's in natural. You got a lot of. You went to Cornell.
I did, yes.
It's cold up there.
It is very cold.
And you're from Milwaukee.
Also very cold.
Yeah. Milwaukee's a great place. Beer is not good for your self-healing system, but there's a lot of great beer in Milwaukee.
Sure.
And you slowly worked your way, and I say slowly, you worked your way to, because you are rather young, you worked your way into founding AVO here in Atlanta as a network spinal chiropractor. So why don't we let's get into AVO Health a little bit and drill into that. So first of all, what is the chiropractic philosophy? And we kind of got into it a little bit, but let's get into that. What is the chiropractic philosophy of health?
Sure. So going along with that vitalism, right, the idea that your body is self-healing,
okay.
Chiropractic then understands that all of the functions in your body are controlled by your brain. And that spinal cord is the superhighway of information, right, going from your brain to your body to tell it how to function properly. Now, a chiropractor looks at misalignments in your spine and says, well, those are putting pressure and tension and basically malfunctioning your nervous system. So your nervous system is basically playing a bad game of telephone, right, with the rest of your body.
Got it.
So if someone has, say, acid reflux, part of your stomach might not be...
He's talking about me, everybody.
might not be, that part of your stomach might not be getting proper nerve supply because a bone misalignment is kind of messing up the messages as they go from your brain to your body.
So I think that's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard of someone, actually my wife has gone through this. She has a pain in her leg, something's kind of bothering her, and she goes to a chiropractor and he connects that with something else. So it's not necessarily specific, our brains say my leg hurts, but it could be something else. Is that kind of
Absolutely,
what you're
yeah.
Okay.
If you can imagine, have you ever played the game Jenga?
I have.
Okay, so if you move one of the bottom pieces, the top ones shift.
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
And so just like with your wife and her knee, something could be going on in her spine, anywhere in her spine, and it changes kind of how your body's stacked on top of itself, and that can cause knee pain.
Right. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I had I used to put a wallet in my back pocket. I had one of those big, thick wallets. And when I'd get in a car and I'd go for a long trip, my back was killing me, absolutely killing me. And I went to a chiropractor many, many years ago, and he looked, and I was amazed at this. He looked at how I was standing, and he did all this. I don't even know. You would know what he was doing.
Sure.
I can't tell you. I just know he was looking at my back, and he said, "Where's your wallet?" Immediately keyed in on my wallet. I said, "Well, it's right here." And he said, "Don't put that in your back pocket, because what you're doing is and I guess he knew from where the shift was that something had to be pushing me on my butt.
Exactly.
Especially, and I said, in a car, blah, blah, blah. He immediately caught into that. I think that's really interesting. And and we were talking about acid reflux, folks. I had a general practitioner tell me that he can give me medication and blah, blah, some other things for my acid reflux.
Sure.
I found out that I just have to lose a little weight and the acid reflux goes away. So that is that response. There are ways outside of taking medicine, general medicine, to fix stuff, and that's kind of what you're doing. Your idea is what you teach and what your practice is all about is there are ways to control these responses your body is giving you, causing you discomfort, and you can fix those holistically. Is that
sure? Well, really,
correct?
It's about empowering your body. When I'm working with someone, let's say they do have acid reflux, I'm not treating the acid reflux, right? I would never say that I can cure acid reflux. What I'm focusing on is making sure that the spine is functioning properly.
Wow.
And the nervous system is efficiently working.
Wow.
And then anything that's connected to your nervous system, which is pretty much everything, symptoms will improve pretty much across the board, assuming that your nervous system is functioning better.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I had another symptom that was happening when my back was hurting me, and the challenge that I was running into is that I was, let's put it this way, I was having problems with my bowel movements. And it went away. When I fixed the problem with my back, that went away. I was astounded at that. So there are, things are all connected. All right, how does AVO differ from other regular chiropractic care? So AVO Health, and I got to put it together like avocado.
Right, just like avocado.
Avocado Health, AVO Health is different than regular chiropractic care. How is that different?
Sure. So we fully understand with the work that I do that your body is in control of everything. And so if your Jenga bricks are out of alignment, it's because your body wanted them that way.
Okay.
Right? So we go...
Interesting.
Right.
So your body wants it that way.
And we can get into a much longer discussion about that some other time. But so we look at, okay, so why are the bones out of place? One of the questions that I get all the time when I'm talking to someone new about chiropractic is, will I have to go for the rest of my life? Right? And
it's a good question.
And that's a really important question. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. Do you want to brush your teeth for the rest of your life? And chances are the answer is yes.
Sure.
But
yeah.
What ends up happening with a lot of standard chiropractic, it's all amazing and it all works tremendously well.
Right.
But you end up going and fixing the same problems over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so if you actually get to the root cause, kind of why those bones are out of alignment, that's what really causes healing, what allows the body to really start to heal itself much better.
So I love the, can we continue to use the Jenga analogy?
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
So if your table that the Jenga is sitting on is not flat, right? Mm-hmm. That tower to stand up has to shift a little bit to the left, right? It's kind of like the leaning tower of Pisa, right?
Exactly.
It kind of leans.
Exactly.
And as long as that table's not level, it will continue to have to lean if it's going to stand straight up. So our bodies are going to do that. So if there's some sort of external, and I'm playing around with this, but some sort of external input, like the way you sit at your desk.
Right.
If your chair is not supporting you the right way, you're going to make an adjustment, and that Jenga tower is going to shift, and over time, that's going to cause pain.
Sure, it can cause all sorts of stuff.
Fascinating. Very interesting. So
we have a lot of neurology focused on keeping our eyes level. So like with you and your wallet, right, if your lower body is being held up an inch and a half by your wallet, then the rest of your spine has to compensate for that. And so...
And that's going to cause discomfort. There's some parts
in
of
other
your body.
parts of your body beyond just your lower body, right?
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. So, all right, did we fully answer that question? How does AVO differ from regular chiropractic?
AVO gets to one step deeper than just the bones are out of alignment. We ask why.
Gotcha. Okay, that's the point. That's the real pressure point, if you will. That's kind of goes with this, is that you're going to find what is causing that problem. Now, you have ways to provide solutions for that. What do those solutions look like?
Well, I think we can get into the next question with this answer here.
How are your emotions? That was totally natural.
Yeah. How are your emotions related to health, right? And so, to my knowledge, most animals that have a spinal cord have this emotional posturing system, right? It's what causes a dog to hang its head and tuck its tail after it's had a rough day, right? And so we have the exact same posturing system.
Okay.
And the difference is that we have to walk on 2 feet. So we can't really hang our head forward too much, and we can't really tuck our tail that much,
right? Because
we have to remain upright. So these changes are getting into inches, maybe even less, right? But if you think about the Jenga, right? If you've now got some emotion, like say victimhood is what causes a dog to hang its head and tuck its tail. Now you have the feeling of victimhood getting into the muscular system, which is kind of pulling the spine into that hang your head, tuck your tail configuration, right? So the Jenga blocks are now kind of bent over, and it's just a matter of time until one of them comes out of alignment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's really fascinating because if I was in a situation where I was the victim, I was constantly being pushed in a way, and maybe there's an emotional and there is an emotional component of that. I'm not going to stand as upright. Of course I'm not.
Right.
Because I think we naturally want to disappear. Sure. And if you want to disappear, you kind of shrink yourself down. And that would absolutely change.
Absolutely.
And actually I could, it makes my back hurt just thinking about it. But I can see that. Now, for the record, the connection with dogs, I really wish that that we all had tails. because every time I go to see my dog, I know if he's happy to see me because he wags his tail. I tell my kids that all the time. I said, I wish you guys had tails. If you had tails, I could tell if you like me or not,
Right, exactly.
But that emotion certainly comes out, and all animals have that emotion. And how do you express that emotion? And, there is a relaxed a response to being relaxed is the way your body holds itself is probably very good.
Sure.
If I am I am sitting forward in my chair. I am not reclining back because I am engaged. I want this show to go well. So I am leaning forward. Now, could I sit like this all day long? No, I couldn't. Because I would something in my body would say, okay, I'm so tired of being in this position. Right. But so those, our physical response is always there, and what we have to do is to balance that. And you help figure that out. How do you balance that?
And all of this is happening unconsciously.
Right.
Right. We're not consciously like, oh, well, I'm sad, so I'm going to hang my head and tuck my tail. Right. This is all happening unconsciously. And so really it starts with bringing awareness to those tension patterns that are causing your spine to distort. Right. And so that's one of the main reasons that we partnered with yoga and breath work. Right, to tie that into here is that breath and yoga focuses so much on a body awareness.
Let's dig into this.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
Cool.
Yoga. How does yoga work? If I've never been into a yoga studio, and I have it for the record, how does yoga help me with that?
Okay. So I am not an avid yogi myself, so I'm going to do my best to answer these questions.
You're much more of an expert than I am, for the record.
Okay, got it. There's no mastery class for yoga that I've taken.
Okay, good.
So when you're focusing on your breath, when you're aware of your breathing, you're doing yoga.
Huh. Oh, really?
Yes. When you get to what the foundation of yoga,
Sure.
right? Everyone thinks it's a hot room and a mat and you're stretching, right? But
I will take it. Kind of thought that. Yeah.
Most people do.
Sure.
But yoga actually is a lot more about awareness and focusing on your breath and just kind of being. And so the postures that are typical in most yoga classes really are focused on activating different parts of your body in different ways that maybe you haven't done in a long time. And I've heard stories of people having emotional experiences while doing yoga poses.
I think that makes sense.
That ties completely in with the network spinal work that I do as well.
Yeah, if you close down and you spend some time on that and you're focused on you're trying to drain the brain a little bit, right? And focusing on your breath. I mean, that's a common thing, and I actually practice that type of relaxation trying to go to bed at night because my brain will not shut down. And so I focus on my breathing and it helps me shut down. Well, good. So so we talked about yoga, we talked about the there was something else that you said, yoga, and what else do you guys?
Network spinal is the chiropractic that we do.
So how can that affect somebody's emotion? Is there anything else there?
So one of the major things that I talk with my clients about a lot is that every pain has a gift, right? So there's like kind of the dark side of being in the pain, and then there's the gift on the other side, right?
Okay.
And only through processing those emotions.
I'm just trying to figure out pain and gifts. I'm stuck there, but yeah. So
sure.
You're going to help drill into that to figure out.
Yeah, and so for example, if you have a pelvic distortion, right? So the foundation of your spine, the bottom of your spine is being held in a way that isn't very efficient with how it moves and the musculature around it and everything.
Sure.
That has a lot to do with the feeling of identity and like how these are the rules of society and this is how I fit in, right? It's. I mean, we're getting a little more metaphysical here,
yeah,
but
this is cool.
So then, what happens is when you come through that and kind of heal those emotions of feeling challenged with who am I and how do I fit in, then you can stand proudly and say, this is me. And only through processing and going through all of those evolution, right? That evolution, can you then get to that place where you're rock solid with who you are and how you fit in, and maybe even not even care about fitting in anymore.
Right. I can't help but think, do you help young people?
Absolutely.
kids that are adolescents that are going
Sure.
through the pressures of adolescenthood.
This is a lot in high school. This is why people have a hard
Yeah.
time in high school.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids, and I went through this when I was in high school, but it was so long ago. Watching my own kids go through the struggles of the social pressures and praying that they get through those challenges is, it's the bane of a lot of parents' existence.
Sure.
But yeah, I absolutely, I remember seeing my kids come through where they were struggling socially and they were not standing upright. I never thought about that before, but they clearly were not. One of my kids came home. He's from college, and we were having she went through some challenges at school, and when she walked in the kitchen, she was deflated,
Sure.
literally, physically, and emotionally deflated.
Totally.
And once we were able to work through that, she was more upright.
Right.
Absolutely interesting. I've never really thought about that. But there's also a thing. We know this because we understand the gestures and the emotions and how somebody connects with us. We can detect, without
Sure.
even knowing it, that someone's not happy just by their physical being.
Body language is huge, and that all happens subconsciously too.
Sure.
So, absolutely.
All right, this is such a fascinating story because you're not just a chiropractic clinic. You do so much more.
Right.
You're drilling into so many more things. How do you get that message out there?
Well, the last year has presented quite a challenge.
Oh, I'm
Most
sure.
of the time, the way that we were marketing before COVID was going out and meeting people face to face.
Yep.
As many different opportunities as we could. With healthcare, especially this type of healthcare that definitely gets into a little more of the personal information type stuff, not just I have a headache, but
Right.
this is what's happening in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You really have to trust the person that you're working with as a patient.
And I'm
right?
guessing that a lot of face-to-face is important there.
Right, exactly.
Video is not going to be,
Right.
it's hard to connect.
And so then
Harder.
So then COVID happened, and all of the opportunities to meet people face to face evaporated.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
it's really been a challenge. But one of the biggest ways that I want to get this message out is on my social media, online, because that's where everyone is. If they're in their living rooms, chances are they're scrolling or something else on the internet.
Good. Your story is complex. I'll be honest. It really is complex because if I drive by and I see the brand on the side of the building and I see chiropractic care, I think, okay, I put you in a box.
Right.
And what you want me to do is take that next step of engage with you as a potential customer, and then you're showing content in my feed, and so you're sharing your story with me as best as you can, because you can't tell me the story in 2 words.
Right.
So that's got to be effective. If you were meeting a new business owner, they're coming in to see you. Actually, you probably have business owners come in like,
Sure.
oh, I'm stressed out. What do you tell them when they say, what are ways, how can I market better? What are you doing? Are there tips that you would give to a business owner when they're starting up a company? Because how long has AVO Health been around?
So AVO's been around for about a year and a half.
Okay, you are young. Oh my gosh.
Just
so you
started.
started 6 months before the virus hit.
Yes, I did.
So, I know a guy that runs a place called AVO Health that helps with stress. Do I need to connect you with him?
Oh, please.
But so you're living this. I mean, you're living stress because
absolutely.
you are trying to find a way, because let's be honest, you want to help people, but you also have to pay the bills.
Absolutely.
And so when you meet another business owner that is trying to start up a company, and you should probably write a book, How to Start a Company in the Middle of a Pandemic. What do you tell them? What are some of the suggestions you would give them?
Well, I think the most important thing is to remember why you got into the business in the first place.
Oh, I like that.
Because that'll give you the drive. If there aren't events to go to, then try social media stuff. And if that is working for you or not working for you, or not getting the results that you want, then try something else and try something else and try something else. So the best advice that I can give to somebody is really just stick with it and remember why you did it and keep going.
It'll pay off.
Yep.
you're doing virtual events, aren't you?
We do have a few virtual classes that we do. We have a virtual program for yoga.
Okay.
Where we...
Oh, you could do yoga virtually. I could
Sure,
see that
yeah.
with the guide. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have about 5 classes a week that are live, and then we have a whole library of classes that we offer.
That's awesome.
As well.
All right. I want you to let's do some self-promotion. Where are you, and how can people find you?
Sure. I'm on Claremont Road in Chamblee, just north of Highway 85.
Okay. It's a good location.
Yeah.
Real close to 85. So folks in downtown Atlanta could easily get to you because it's not hard.
Right. So when we chose our location, we wanted to be close enough to downtown and Buckhead and everything while still being an escape from the stressful city. Right.
Good.
So we have some great green space and right next to our office. It's a great location, and it's really easy to relax there, which is nice.
What's the phone number? How and where can people find you
Sure.
online?
So our website is www.avohealth.net, and our phone number is 404-985-6209.
Perfect. Well, great. And you're open. People can come in.
Absolutely.
What do you guys do with masks? Do people have to wear a mask to come in?
If you feel called to wear a mask, you can wear it. We don't require it. And we are limiting the number of people in our yoga classes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we can socially distance in yoga.
Good. Well, this vaccine, it's I got to tell you an anecdotal funny story. An anti-vaccine person sent me a note the other day, and they said, look at this, in Israel, 12,500 people have come down with the coronavirus after they got the vaccine. And I went, oh, that sounds bad. And I went out and found that they've given the vaccine to 2 million people. So the math is 0.06% of people are getting coronavirus after the vaccine.
Wow.
I'll take that any day of the week.
Sure, absolutely.
So the vaccine is going to create confidence. You're going to have more people that come in once we can get the vaccine out to more people. I think that's a great thing.
I'm very excited for that.
And we want people to come see you because you're going to help people really live a better life. At the end of the day, you're going to help people live a better life, and that's pretty darn cool. I love that.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, we need more of you in the world, for the record.
I really appreciate you saying that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Andrew, thank you for being here. I'm going to talk a little bit about e-presence. Are you okay if I do that?
Absolutely.
So, folks, thank you for joining us here on How's Your E-Presence. We are interested in helping companies like Andrew's, as a matter of fact, find their voice on social. So here in 2021, we are looking to help out more and more companies. So if you are that organization that's trying to figure out how to get a message out, then give us a call. You can find us online at epresence.me. That's epresence.me, because it is all about you. So, folks, we're so glad that you're here. Here in the middle of this pandemic, we are looking at trying to connect with people digitally all the time. This is one of the ways to do it. And so we do appreciate you guys coming in and joining us here today. So we typically broadcast live here at Business RadioX on the third Thursday at 3, but you can listen to any of our shows 24/7 by going to Business RadioX and selecting the Gwinnett Studio. You can also find our shows on and look for How's Your E-Presence on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, even the Amazon Echo. We're adding content every week. We took a little bit of sabbatical, I have to admit, over the holidays. I was going to drop a show in the middle of the holidays, and I was just having so much fun, relaxing. Andrew, isn't that a good thing? I was relaxing. I didn't do any work. So we missed a few weeks there, but we are back and running, and we've got 4 or 5 shows already on the books for the next 3 weeks. So there's a lot of great content coming out. This show was promoted by Amanda Parrish and produced by Mike Salmon. And until next time, for my guest, Andrew Wright, I'm Mark Galvin, and this has been How's Your E-Presence on Business Radio X.